Howdy, folks. Bear with me and try and keep smiling, because in Been There, Done That, Shouldn't Have, we're going to take a look at economic policy. Now, the bad news isn't that it's going to be about economics. We're not going to have all those sigmas and taus and pi's swarming around as though it was a convention of theoretical mathematicians. I'm not a big fan of that kind of economics. I'm a historian by training. And what we're going to do in this series is we're going to look at economic history. We're going to look at policies that people today think are bold and new, that are actually old and bad, that we've tried these before, going back, in fact, as far as the time when people did write with sigmas and taus and pi's. They've tried them in Rome, they've tried them around the world over and over again, and they've always failed. And they've always failed for the same basic reasons. Because people respond to incentives, because there is no free lunch, because you've got to stick with the tried and true. You have to trust the creative ability of ordinary people. Every time the government comes in and says, we're going to tell you all what to do, and you're going to wind up richer and happier, you don't wind up happier, and you don't wind up richer. So, why should you keep smiling? I'll tell you why. Because it's important to keep hope, to believe that we can get out of the current mess if we understand how we got into it. And for that, and this is the other part of why it's economic history, it's about stories. You don't win arguments with equations. You don't win arguments with elaborate explanations of principles. They're important. You have to know why you think what you think. You've got to be able to reason through the thicket. But the first thing you've got to do is show people how things work or how they don't work. You've got to make it real world. And human beings organize their lives and their thinking around stories. Who am I? Where have I come from? Where should I be going? The answer is we are free people. We have come from a legacy of freedom that made us prosperous and happy, and we're going to stay prosperous and happy. It's not going to come from the government bossing us around. It's going to come from our heritage of liberty, of creativity, and of human dignity. But the only way we're going to get that message out, and we haven't been doing as good a job as we need to, is to tell stories. Some of them are happy stories, others are cautionary stories about the time Diocletian tried to impose price control, that sort of stuff. That's what we're going to be talking about. I promise you it's going to be fun. Sometimes it's going to be discouraging, but you want to keep a smile on your face, and you're not going to have to duck the Greek alphabet, because this is the story of human beings.